Adjoint of a square matrix. Adjoint of a square matrix. Let capital A be the square matrix. Let capital A be the square matrix. Then the adjoint of the square matrix A adjoint of the square matrix A is denoted by ADJ in bracket A ADJ in bracket A and defined as transpose of the cofactors matrix. Transpose of the cofactors matrix of the elements of given matrix A. That is adjoint of A equal to transpose of square matrix Aij, where capital Aij is cofactor of small aij. Now, what is the definition of cofactor? -1 to the power of I plus j into mij, where mij is the minor of an element aij. Mute it, Mohit. Let A equal to 2 by 2 matrix. A 1 1, A 1 2, A 2 1, A 2 2. So adjoint of A equal to transpose of cofactors matrix. Now, tell me what the cofactor of A11.
A22.
A22. Tell me cofactor of A12.
Minus
A21.
A21.
Minus A21.
Correct. Minus A21. Cofactor of A21. Minus A12. Cofactor of A22. A11. Now, for this here, take the transpose. So what is this becomes now? A22 minus A12 minus A21 A11. For the observation adjoint A and the given matrix A. Observe the elements. For the observation.
The principal diagonals are interchanged,
Correct. Next.
and the non-principal diagonal elements have the opposite sign.
That is, principal diagonal elements are interchanged and the non-principal diagonal elements changed the sign. So if I take A equal to A, B, C, D, can you able to say directly adjoint of A? What is adjoint of A?
D minus B
D minus B
minus C.
minus C A. Write one example. Find the adjoint of 3 minus 1 2 0. What is adjoint? First element
0, 1,
0 1. Next
minus 2,
minus 2 3. Let us take 3 by 3. Now, write one example. Eight, 4, 2. 2, 9, 4. 1, 2, 8. Now, as per the definition, adjoint of A equal to transpose of cofactors matrix. Means capital A11, A12, A13, A21, A22, A23, A31, A32, A33 transpose. Calculate for each element separately. After that, you put in the matrix. A11, that is cofactor of A11. So minus 1 to the power of 1 plus 1, M11. Now, tell me the value.
64,
72 minus 8, that is 64. Okay. Next, A12. So it will be minus M12. So minus of. Tell me M12. How to calculate M12? Remove the first row and second column. So 16 minus 4. How much? Minus 12. A13 plus M13. Tell me M13.
minus 5.
Minus 5. The same manner. Calculate A21, A22, A23, A31, A32, A33. Write separately like this only. What is A21?
minus 28.
Next, A22.
62.
A23.
Minus 12.
Minus 12. A31.
Minus 4.
Minus 2.
Minus 2.
A32.
Minus 28.
Minus 28. A33.
64.
64. Now, so adjoint of A. First, replace the cofactors and put the symbol transpose. After that, you take the transpose. Now, what are the values? 64 minus 12 minus 5. Next, minus 28, 62 minus 12 minus 2 minus 28, 64. Now take the transpose for this. So 64 minus 28 minus 2 minus 12, 62 minus 28 minus 5 minus 12, 64. It all of you? Calculate A into adjoint of A. A into adjoint of A. 8, 4, 2, 2, 9, 4, 1, 2, 8. 64 minus 28 minus 2 minus 12, 62 minus 28 minus 5 minus 12, 64. Calculate this product and tell me. At the conclusion, if A is a square matrix, of order n, then A into adjoint of A equal to determinant of A into I, which is also same as adjoint of A into A. Here the order of identity matrix is what? N. Whatever the order that we have taken for the matrix A. So this is an important property. A into adjoint of A equal to adjoint of A into A equal to determinant of A into I. Now, let us prove this for a general matrix. So instead of writing for the n by n matrix, so let us write for 3 by 3. A into adjoint of A. 3 by 3 matrix. A11, A12, A13, A21, A22, A23, A31, A32, A33. Adjoint of A is what? Transpose of cofactors matrix. A11, A12, A13. I am taking directly the transpose. A21, A22, A23 column wise. A31, A32, A33. Now, previously I have done a numerical problem. Now you are doing theoretical. So take the product, row with a column. First row with a first column. So A11, capital A11, A12, capital A12, A13, capital A13. Previously, this sum of the products of elements of first row with the corresponding cofactors, which is determinant of A. First row with the second column. Sum of the products of elements of first row with the cofactors of which row it is? Cofactors of second row. That
Zero.
value will be always 0. Next, sum of the products of elements of first row with the cofactors of third row is also 0. Next, second row, 0 determinant of A, 0. 0, 0 determinant of A. Now take common determinant of A. Then you will get as 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, which is same as determinant of A into I. So this is true not only for 3 by 3, for any matrix of order n by n.
So why they are 0?
No, that means you have forgot the property. But the property that you have written, sum of the products of elements of any row with the cofactors of another row is always 0. In properties you have written. Suppose if you are taking the product with the cofactors of itself, then the value is the determinant.
Determinant.
You should revise the properties. Next, inverse of a square matrix. Inverse of a square matrix. The inverse of a square matrix A the inverse of a square matrix A of order n, the inverse of a square matrix A of order n if it exists, then it is possible to find a matrix B. It is possible to find a matrix B of the same order n such that AB equal to BA equal to I. AB equal to BA equal to I, where I is the identity matrix of order n. here B is called inverse of A. Here B is inverse of A, and it is written as B equal to A inverse. You should not read as A to the power of -1. You have to read as A inverse.
Sir, why if it exists, is it not necessary that it will always exist?
Definitely. If you are able to find a matrix B, then only it exists. Not necessary that always it exists. That we'll discuss in properties. If you are able to find a matrix B such that the product AB as well as BA both has to be equal and has to be equal to I, then only we say that inverse exists. Now, let us replace B here. That means I can write as what? A into A inverse equal to A inverse into A equal to I. Properties of invertible matrices. First one, inverse of a square matrix, inverse of a square matrix, if it exists, then it is itself. Inverse of a square matrix, if it exists, then it is itself. That is A inverse whole inverse equal to A. A inverse whole inverse equal to A. How to give the explanation for this? From this you can say, that is previously I have written as what? A into A inverse equal to A inverse into A equal to I. It is like AB equal to BA equal to I. So for a given matrix A, if B is the inverse, then we can also say that for a matrix B, A will be the inverse. So B is the inverse of A as well as A is the inverse of B. That means here A inverse is the inverse of A and A is the inverse of A inverse. That is what this. A inverse whole inverse equal to A. Second property. The inverse of a square matrix is always unique. Inverse of a square matrix is always unique. Inverse of a square matrix is always unique. Let us prove this. Let B and C are inverses of matrix A. So we are taking two matrices B and C are the inverse of A. Now as per the statement, we need to prove B equal to C. Using the definition of inverse of a square matrix, when B is the inverse of A, we can write as AB equal to BA equal to I. And when C is the inverse of A, we can write as AC equal to CA equal to I, as per the definition. Try all of you using these two. How to prove? Because we need to prove B equal to C, let us take B. Now, can I write B equal to B into I?
Yes.
Now replace I with A C, because AC equal to I. Now again by associative property, I can write this product BA into C also. But what is BA equal to? I, identity matrix. So I into C. Now again I into C is same as C. That is B equal to C. Anybody has tried in this way? Have you understood? So you have taken B and C are two inverses and you have proved that they are equal. That means in case if it exists any inverse, it is always unique. Next, third property. A square matrix A is non-singular. A square matrix A is non-singular if and only if A inverse exists and A inverse equal to 1 by determinant of A into adjoint of A. So this is an important property. If A is non-singular, then inverse exists, and inverse is A inverse equal to 1 upon determinant of A into adjoint of A. Or if A inverse exists, then it is A is non-singular. What's the meaning of A is non-singular?
Matrix A's value is not, determinant of A's value is not 0.
So whenever you say A is non-singular means determinant of A is not equal to 0. Try to prove this property. Let us assume that A is non-singular. That is first case. So A is non-singular means what? Determinant of A not equal to 0. Then we have proved that A into adjoint of A equal to determinant of A into I. Now, because determinant of A is not equal to 0, I can divide. So 1 by determinant of A into adjoint of A equal to I. Now, also we are having A into adjoint of A equal to adjoint of A into A is also equal to what? Determinant of A into I. That means here also I can write as one upon determinant of A into adjoint of A into A. That is, I am dividing basically with determinant of A because it is not equal to 0. Now, if you observe this, it is in the form of AB equal to BI equal to I. That is, you can rewrite as A into 1 upon determinant of A into adjoint of A. Equal to I. That means AB equal to I. That means B is the inverse of A. Hence, A inverse equal to 1 by determinant of A into adjoint of A. That's the formula. Now, what about the converse? For the converse here, A inverse exists. Means A inverse equal to 1 upon determinant of A into adjoint of A exists. Then you can conclude as what from this? Determinant of A is not equal to 0, which implies A is non-singular. That means you can say that inverse exists only when A is non-singular. So if it is a singular matrix, then inverse does not exist. Write a note. If A is singular, then inverse does not exist. And remember the formula of A inverse whenever exists. A inverse equal to 1 upon determinant of A into adjoint of A. And previously we have discussed how to calculate adjoint. Adjoint is what? Transpose of cofactors matrix. Next property. Cancellation law. If A is non-singular, if A is non-singular and AB equal to AC implies B equal to C. That means cancellation property holds true only when A is non-singular. Means determinant should be what? Not equal to 0. Now how to write the explanation for this? That is when A is non-singular and AB equal to AC, then B equal to C. Using the previous property, once A is non-singular, we can say that A inverse exists. Given is what? AB equal to AC. Now multiply both sides with the A inverse because A inverse exists. So A inverse into AB equal to A inverse into AC. Apply the associative property. A inverse A into B equal to A inverse A into C. But A inverse A equal to I into B equal to I into C. But product of any matrix which is the identity matrix is itself. That is B equal to C. That is, you can cancel the matrix provided if it is non-singular. That is, determinant should be not equal to 0. Next property. Reversal law. If A and B are two square matrices of the same order, if A and B are two square matrices of the same order, and both are non-singular, then AB is also non-singular. AB is also non-singular, and inverse of AB exists. Inverse of AB exists, and AB whole inverse equal to B inverse A inverse. See the statement once again. A and B are two square matrices of this same order and non-singular. That is, determinant of A not equal 0, determinant of B not equal to 0. Then the product AB is also non-singular, as well as inverse exists, and inverse of the product equal to product of inverses in reverse order. Like this property before have you written similar to this?
Transpose.
Transpose. That is, transpose of the product equal to product of the transposes in reverse order. So it is similar to that. Try to prove all of you. Since determinant of A not equal 0, determinant of B not equal to 0. Previously you have proved determinant of AB equal to determinant of A into determinant of B, which is also not equal to 0. Hence you can say that AB inverse exists. Now let us consider AB into B inverse A inverse. By associative property, you can rewrite as A into B inverse into A inverse. Now B is invertible, so A into I into A inverse. Again A into I is A into A inverse, that equal to I. Similarly, you can prove B inverse A inverse into AB is also equal to I. Now this is in the form of AB equal to BA equal to I. Hence, B is the inverse of A. That is, B inverse A inverse is the inverse of AB. And you can write as B inverse A inverse equal to AB whole inverse. So whenever you want to calculate inverse of the product, so instead of calculating the product and calculating the inverse, you can calculate directly inverse of B, inverse of A and take the product. Now, this can be extended further. Write a note. A, B, C, whole inverse. What you can write this as?
C inverse, B inverse, A
C
inverse.
inverse, B inverse, A inverse. Provided, right? Provided the product and inverses exist. Provided the product and inverses exist. Right, one more property. A is non-singular. A is non-singular square matrix. Then A transpose whole inverse equal to A inverse whole transpose. A transpose whole inverse equal to A inverse whole transpose. So if I take a transpose for this on both sides, A into A inverse whole transpose equal to A inverse A whole transpose equal to I transpose. Now, what is the transpose of product of two matrices? Product of transposes in reverse order. So I should write as A inverse whole transpose into A transpose equal to A transpose into A inverse whole transpose equal to I transpose, which is same as I. Now this is again in the same form as before. A into A inverse equal to A inverse A into A equal to I. Then from this you can conclude that
A transpose,
A
whole
transpose
inverse.
whole inverse equal to A inverse whole transpose. Right, one more property. A is non-singular. A is non-singular and symmetric. Then inverse is also symmetric. A is non-singular and symmetric, then inverse is also symmetric. Have you understood the statement first?
Yes.
Once A is non-singular and symmetric, means determinant of A is not equal to 0, and symmetric means what? A transpose equal to A. Once determinant of A not equal to 0, determinant of A transpose is also what? Not equal to 0. Why? Because determinant of A is same as determinant of A transpose. That means A transpose is invertible. A transpose is invertible. Means A transpose inverse exists. A transpose whole inverse exists. Now observe from the previous property. From the previous property, A transpose whole inverse equal to, we have proved as A inverse whole transpose. Since A is symmetric, A transpose equal to A. So that means this will be same as A inverse equal to A inverse whole transpose. So from this, you can conclude that A inverse is also symmetric, because transpose of A inverse is itself. So determinant of A, 8 plus 9, that is 17, which is not equal to 0. That means, can you conclude that A inverse exists?
Yes.
Now, once A inverse exists and you have proved that A square minus 6A plus 17I equal to 0. Because A inverse exists, I can multiply A inverse on both sides. So A inverse into A square minus 6A plus 17I equal to A inverse into 0. Now, apply distributive property. A inverse A square can be written as A inverse A into A minus 6 A inverse A plus 17 A inverse I equal to 0. Because A inverse exists, A inverse into A is I. So I into A minus, this will be 6I plus 17. A inverse into I is A inverse equal to 0. Now, from this again, I into A is A minus 6I plus 17 A inverse. So A inverse equal to, so A inverse equal to 1 upon 17 into 6I minus A. Now calculate the right hand side now. That will be the inverse. Verification method. A inverse equal to 1 by determinant of A into adjoint of A. So 1 upon determinant of A, 17. Adjoint of 2 by 2 matrices. That is, you know how to calculate for a 2 by 2. At interchange the principal
Yes.
diagonal element and non-principal diagonal element, change the sign. That means this will be 4 and 2, and this will be 3 minus 3, which is same as this. Characteristic equation. Characteristic equation. A is a non-singular square matrix. A is a non-singular square matrix. Then A satisfies the equation determinant of A minus lambda I equal to 0. A is a non-singular square matrix. Then A satisfies the equation determinant of A minus lambda I equal to 0, which is called characteristic equation. So the characteristic equation is determinant of A minus lambda I equal to 0. When you expand, you are getting a cubic equation in lambda and replace lambda with A. Then you will get the given polynomial.